Looking at the operational efficiencies cost codes to activities dashboard, I can see a list of categories and cost codes that have too many activities or have no activities. This is not a total list of all my cost code to activity relations, since cost codes that are related to only one activity are set up correctly and therefore do not show up on this data health. In this case, I'm going to focus on these 3 lines today. This cost code does not have an activity, and we have open AP balance of negative $4,000 that is therefore not going to show up on any schedule, and I want to make sure that it does show up on a schedule, so I need to get this cost code attached to an activity. This cost code is related to 2 activities on my schedule, which is much less of a problem. However, what that does mean is that the purchase order will show up twice on the schedule. It won't get paid twice, but it will be cumbersome and annoying for my field managers to deal with. So we're going to take care of those 2 items today. To deal with a cost code that has no activity codes, we go to Job Cost, Scheduling, Setup, Activity Code Maintenance. Each activity code can be related to cost codes. So we're going to find the activity code that I want to relate cost code 06068 to. Now, I'm not going to go into detail here in the tutorial of how you do that. It's essentially you looking at the descriptions and finding one that makes sense for you, that is on your schedule. But for me, I already know that the activity I want is Q38. So I'm going to find activity code Q38, leaving this sorted. I could either type in Q38 here, or I could scroll down through the list. Once I get my activity, I can see the list of cost codes that are already associated to the activity. We can see here that this cost code is for grading and drainage, and we already have site work final grade attached to this activity. So I'm going to click New, and then I'm going to type in the new cost code that I want associated with this activity, in this case 06068. The description should fill in. I click OK. And just like that, we have corrected this item. Next time our database refreshes, this line will no longer show up on the dashboard. I can click OK. And now I could fix this item, which has too many activities. In this case, your resolution is to identify which of these activities should this cost code not be attached to and get rid of it, leaving the other one alone. Or an item like this, which has 3 activities, you do that, but you're only keeping 1 activity in each case. So maybe in this one, I would keep activity 260, but get rid of D72 and G20. Since I'm working on this one today, however, I'm going to get rid of G20 site clear lot. To do so, I'm going to find activity G20. Again, I could scroll through the list, or I could type it into my search bar up here. Once I get my activity, I can find the cost code that should not be attached, in this case cost code 06044, in my list of cost codes down here, and then I can delete it. Are you sure you want to delete this record? Yes, I am. Again, just like that, we have corrected another issue on our data healths. Once our database refreshes, depending if you're on the daily or hourly update, these 3 lines will be resolved. Notice how we didn't do anything for this line. Activity 090 we didn't touch, but that's because we wanted to leave activity 090 attached to this cost code. We only had to clear up this line, and then the system will read that this activity is attached to this cost code, and there's a 1-to-1 relation. Therefore, it will no longer show up on our dashboard. So by resolving 2 lines on the data health, we have eliminated 3 lines of issues.